service. How would this affect the overall level of funding, or your expectations to the overall level of funding and the discontinuity of the project-based approach?
So we're going to cover this in the next session as well, but what can be done in the next work program, and particularly FP10? We've said that there's a clear need for knowledge sharing, for movement, for whether that's operators or research across research infrastructures to share best practice. This is an ideal opportunity, I believe, where research infrastructures work program can work closely with the Marie Curie work program. And being able to use the Marie Curie mechanism as a means to, we go on about our budget is extremely tight as it is, we know that, and every cent is being, has a home to go to. Marie Curie has a far bigger budget, and I think it will be a wonderful opportunity, not least in the spirit of inclusivity across Horizon Europe and within the Commission, but that there is high time that there was some internal collaboration and cooperation between work programs, and this could be an ideal opportunity to do so, where you have this sort of both programs coordinating together, creating this chest of funding to allow movement of researchers to enable that better best practice and enrichment of the research infrastructure landscape across Europe. That would be my view.
So I don't know how far we can still influence 2025, 2027. I would have some ideas for this, but for FP10, I think what we should look is this different needs of access that we have. So we have this mechanism of transnational access, a virtual access, but now it's this expertise that came to, or even expertise for use of archives. So this is not the classical virtual access, because the virtual access is you just download the data. So there is nothing between, even no expert at all, that there will be this possibility. What we had before, and we don't have it now, I don't see it, is the exchange of the visits that we have. We have really visits of operators or managers that they could go and learn from one to another. We don't have this. This was under the networking. So this will bring also the exchange of knowledge and lessons learned. So mostly like this, to see that transnational access, or as access develops, that it will be adopted to the mechanism that we can really provide this.
My full support to Marie Curie. That's an excellent idea. I've never thought of that, but that's really... We have made good use of cost actions, and I think that's another mechanism, but it's that synergy between programs, I think, can be really important. The one thing I wanted to add, which I think is really interesting, and we've done some limited work in the life sciences, is to try to address complex research programs by offering access to multiple research infrastructures. So, for instance, the visits to the marine outstations are followed up by access to advanced microscopes for studies of the specimens. And that's been really successful. It was very hard. It was very difficult to do because completely new and naive user community, so it took a lot of hand-holding to bring them to the imaging facilities. But we have some really nice examples, for instance, where they've discovered completely new parts of biology because they simply hadn't visualized the specimens in that way. So I think that's an interesting area, really try to do more of the really sort of cutting-edge research by combining these advanced facilities. I think another interesting area I think we can work on collectively and perhaps specifically within the domains is using better use of artificial intelligence for user support. We see that in the commercial sector, with a lot of scalable user support using artificial intelligence. We have an asset in the scientific literature. I think we could use that to really develop some completely novel models for user guidance, user support, and sort of experiment discovery within the facilities.
Okay, thank you. next topic, which is pretty close, but my lesson from this topic would be that one outcome is FP10 should concentrate on the knowledge sharing, on the exchange, and promote the exchange between RIs, exchange of experiences, visits of operators, and so on, and coordinating into, let's say, emerging new fields which affect all areas of science, like artificial intelligence, as an example. Will this be comprehensive enough? Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the last question. Yeah, are there any relevant aspects of access to be highlighted in the ESFRI Landscape Analysis Report? Where could this help? Just remind you,
there are also other
Commission
people.
has threatened to read this report carefully.
So, since we have more than 20 years of transnational access experience, right? This is important now to have that. I think I lost my thought. No, I lost mine. Sorry, I will come back later on. Okay, now I know. So what I wanted to say, that transnational access, it was highlighted, it's the best idea of EC that they have, right? And I don't know if they do this, but it's coming to the session that we had before on the founding, and how much transnational access from EU is out of it, of the operational cost, of the running cost of the infrastructure. It's not high for us, but it has unbelievable value. And maybe that when this will be stressed, to say how much it is the support from the Commission and how much is this on the infrastructure owners cost anyway, but they still do it. It means that what kind of value it is. There are different levels. There are recognition on the national level of the infrastructure. There are recognition of international level. There are recognition on the user base, new science, new cooperation. And this is the small investment which is needed to keep it on.
Any further comments?
I'll just make one comment that, yeah, the importance for the landscape analysis to take a view of the context in which the large ESFRI facilities sit. So it's not just the ESFRI, the largest facilities, it's the complementary set of national scale facilities to which transnational access grows the community, which will go and use the largest facilities as well. So just for that, coming back to that point of completeness of the landscape analysis. And just to stress Isabella's point that, yeah, the small amount of sort of 5% additional EC funding on top of the national funding for these facilities has a disproportionately positive effect in widening and making effective access. And that's enabled through support. And the support both widens access for new users or users coming from different disciplines, but it also makes for more effective access for the expert users too. Those users trying to do the most challenging experiments, not just the new users, but the experienced users trying to do the most challenging experiments, they also need support too. It's not just about the new users, it's about the whole spectrum of users.
Okay. Okay, we are well in time, which would help us to summarize shortly in writing the whole discussion here. There are still a number of issues which could have been addressed and which I would have loved to address. But the 3 minutes we still have, or 4 minutes, would not be sufficient. So thank you very much for this. For the last point, I would summarize it myself. The landscape analysis should work out and recognize the added value of additional access by new users. And this should, of course, cover also the in the context of all research infrastructures, not just ESFRIs, etc. And concerning the users, it should be all potential users, whether they come from a member country or not. Then we have to see with this recognition what the Commission and what the Parliament will do with the next framework program with this. Okay, so thank you very much and hope to see you in the next session after the